Welcome viewers, this is Danny from Lego Buff Productions, here with another episode of Engineering Lego, the Lego Star Wars Droid base. Today I'll be filling you in on some progress of building the base floor, as well as some bricklink orders that I'm still waiting for to come in. We'll go ahead and start with my progress on the floor design. Over here I have finalized what the outer section, which is this blue line right here, the rail, and just the initial inner part right before you get to those yellow lines. I finalized the design for that, and I'll go ahead and take you through it working on the other side now. So the first assembly I need to make for the side is what I'll call the bar assembly. So I take a 2x2 plate here, and then I attach one of these 1x2 plates with this kind of L shape or whatever shape you want to call it, bar sticking up on the side there. I put a 1x2 plate on top of that, right next to it, and then a 2x2 tile on top of there, and that is my assembly. And then I just make a bunch of these. Then I place them along the sides with the hooks facing the end of it, and I space them out by 8 bricks, or 8 studs, I guess you could say. So put that one down, take off my 1x8 brick, put it over here, this one down, so there's a total of 8 studs between each of these. Next up, I tile all the way down the side, all the way up to the front spot right here, and these are simply just 2x2 tiles. And next up, it's taking these 1x1 modified bricks with the stud on the side and then just popping them on these bars here with that stud facing out. And for now, I just kind of slide them just barely on the top there. I'll be readjusting them later. So this is where you really see the snot part, the studs not on top part, really start coming together here. So what I do is, this is the last brick, so just like this brick is right here, there's one right here. So I'll put a 1x6 brick right there, a 1x3 brick right there, and then get 2 1x3 bricks, put them together like so, attach it there, and then I get a 1x4 brick, and that's what connects these two together here, just like so. And then what I do is I take some of these light bluish gray plates and I just connect it to these studs on the ends here, and this is why I put these tiles down, so that this ends up being flush against it. And you can see there's actually a little gap right there right now, and I will show you once I put this plate on right here. You can also see the gap here as well. You can see the shadow hitting. So that's why I didn't push these modified bricks down all the way, because this is the point at which I do that. Push some of these down so that the bricks are now flush. You can see, especially right here, it's completely flush with the tile, making it the exact correct height. And now it comes the part where we attach the track. So what I did first was put a line of plates. These are all 1x plates going along on the back of these bricks. Again, these 1x1 bricks you see are the modified ones with the hole in it that connects to the bar. And then I took these bricks right here that have, it's basically like one of those 1x1 modified bricks on steroids, right? You get 4 holes instead of just 1. And so I took this and I put a 1x1 or a 1x2 plate on the back of it, and then attached them, separating them out every 12 studs. So these are separated, there's 12 studs between them. And then what I do is I take this right here, which is 12, a 1x12 essentially, made up of 1x3 bricks right there, and then 3 of 2x4 bricks. And so on the other side of this, which you can see better here, has these 2x2 tiles. I did a whole nother row of those. And so when I put this kind of block thing on right here, and I push it in, the 2x2 bricks are now touching these tiles. So when I push down, it's not like hitting these studs right here, and it's perfectly flush, just as these are over here. So that way, when the monorail goes by and it's pushing down, you have extra weight, there's gonna be no flexing of these bricks here. There's gonna be no faulty errors that occur here. So for the rail, I put down first a layer of these dark bluish gray plates, and these connect directly to this brick, which I laid down before. And so once we get that in there and aligned, then I put down yet another layer of plates, and I make sure to alternate them so that any gaps are covered, and this also helps strengthen both the snot formation as well as the plates on top. So I make sure I go all the way down with these, And then finally, I finished off the top here by the previous track I had set up. I'm just kind of stealing these 2x4 dark bluish gray bricks from it. And then I'm gonna put dark bluish gray tiles on top here, and that is going to make the final rail. Going back to the side real quick, I thought I was out of luck because what's supposed to happen is there's supposed to be these plates here, and then there'd be plates on the bottom and then a tile here, but these plates need to be in dark blue or that navy color to match the Separatist or CIS color. So I ran out of the 1x plates on the other side, but then I just realized that I have this right here, which is 2 of these Han Solo sets. I got these at a past Brickworld a few years ago, and they're without minifigs. I just bought the sets for the pieces, essentially. They're really cheap, and there's tons of both 2x and 1x dark blue or navy plates in here, so I should be set now for the side. And here's a final look at that line going down. There is a tiny offset right here. It's I think it's a quarter of a plate offset between this tile and this tile, so it's not exactly flush there, but I kind of actually like this little wedge there. It's aesthetically pleasing, so I am a fan of it, and obviously there's not really much I can do about it. And here's a good look at both completed sides. Now you have the left side as well as the right side. Now these platforms here are completely temporary. This is just different prototyping for some possible designs. I really like how they look so far, so you can let me know in the comments down below what you think. But there's quite a few different techniques going on here. So first off, we have these bricks going this way, and they actually connect into this pillar right here. So you have the bricks, the anti-studs are on this side, and then you have these modified bricks with the studs on side connecting the bricks right there. So that would look something like taking one of these pieces right here and then connecting it to the anti-studs of those bricks right here, but embedding it inside of the column right there. Then in between those two, I have another snot formation, but going in a different direction. So now you can see, looking from this side, the anti-studs are going that way. And so this enables me to do both a thin horizontal line right here and then thin vertical line. So I don't have one line thicker than the other because of the orientation. And then I used just, some white bricks on the inside there to get the different numbers. So I'm thinking of having the exact size to be like this, but the final formation, the final structure will be a little bit different. Again, I mentioned these are temporary because there's not much really holding them up. You can see a big gap down there. I will need to structure it how I did over here, where I put these tiles down first and then the bricks to add some extra support there. The platforms are sized according to these Lego sets. Again, I want to make it very clear right now, as I mentioned in previous episodes, I will be custom building these vehicles. I'm simply using the Lego sets to get some size ideas, but later on in this series, I will be custom building both Corporate Alliance tank droids as well as AATs. So I will not be using the Lego sets in the final model. I will be using custom models, not instructions I bought online, but custom built by me. These are nowhere near the final column design, so I don't want you to think that. These are mere placeholders, again, just to get the right height that I'll need for once I build the hangar ceiling, which will have terrain above it. So again, this is all just temporary stuff, but you can see lining it up here, these Corporate Alliance tank droids fit very nicely in those lines, and then once I have the final horizontal line up there, it's the perfect sizing. The same with this AAT over here. I'd love to get some feedback on these numbers. To me, they look just a little bit off. I'm not sure if I should do something more fancy, try to add in some cheese slopes and maybe make the numbers more fanciful instead of just plain like this. So let me know down in the comments what I should do about the numbers. I'm not entirely set on these yet. A lot of the work done this week was simply a lot of just math here and there of lining up where I wanted stuff to be and making sure it was all symmetrical as well as evenly spaced. That's a key thing with Lego, and especially in building these large models. If, for example, this was not centered on this center line here, or it was an even number of studs or odd number of studs on each side, then it would be hard with doing different floor patterns, with doing different tiling techniques, especially when I have snot like this. It's really important that I have both sides even when I have symmetrical stuff in the middle here. So it was just a lot of figuring out where everything needed to go. So this is the final location and size of the elevator platform. So in the last episode, we looked at all the different methods of creating an elevator platform. And so the reason I went with this size is it was the perfect size to fit both 2 Corporate Alliance tank droids comfortably. Again, these are the sets. I will be using custom ones in the final one, as well as a single AAT. So that was the two prerequisites that I had for this, was to fit both 2 Corporate Alliance tank droids as well as 1 AAT. Now the pieces that I'm waiting on for, and this is why there was no episode last week, because I thought the pieces would come in this week. I was really hoping to get this up and running for you guys. I'll show the screenshots of the Bricklink orders on right now. So I have these Technic lift arms that I'm waiting on in dark bluish gray, and that will be the main mechanism for the scissor lift, as you saw in last episode. And then the other thing I need are these things, which are called linear actuators. And so I was going back and forth of how I would actually power the scissor lift. My initial thought was to use a 3-bar linkage system to power it. Wasn't too fond of that idea. There's quite a few drawbacks to that. I was briefly considering doing stuff with pneumatics. I know LEGO has a lot of really interesting pneumatic stuff, and I'd love to do some more work with those. Thankfully, there's a lot of material on YouTube, so I might link a few videos down in the comments below. You might see one on screen right now as well, or down in the description. I'll link them. That did comparisons between pneumatics, and that's actually how I found out. I didn't even know they existed, these linear actuators from power functions, which basically convert, when you have a Lego motor, it spins in a circle, and I need to convert that to linear motion, up and down motion. So that's what this linear actuator does, a piston that converts your circular motor motion into a linear piston motion. So I ended up going with that over the pneumatics, since pneumatics is really more for kind of controlled releases where something would puff up instantly instead of slowly rising over time, which is what I want for this lift. So I have way more than I needed those. I think I have 5 of those linear actuators coming in. I probably will end up only using 2 or 3, and then I have those Technic lift arms. So in the next episode, you will be seeing a powered lift, hopefully. And that's going to do it for this episode. So some things that I'm working on for the next episode, again, powering the lift as I just mentioned, as well as finalizing the design for this snot flooring. And then hopefully once I finalize it over here, I'll just easily replicate it, do a similar thing I did with this video where I do the prototyping over here and then give the final design breakdown over on that side, as well as probably have some arrows and stuff going in the snot floor over there. I've also been working on the structure for the ceiling of the hangar, as well as the terrain above it, how that's all going to connect. One of the future episodes, I'll be talking with a civil engineer to talk about structuring those kind of beams, what will provide the strongest ceiling that can support all the weight of the terrain above it. So stay tuned for that. And one last quick note, there will most likely be no episode for the next 2 weeks. I am going on a family vacation for those 2 weeks, so there will be no episodes uploaded on the channel, no videos really in that time. So I'll be excited to return in 3 Saturdays from today. So not next Saturday, not the Saturday after that, but the Saturday after that one. So once I return, I will have a regular schedule of every week. I may end up finding some way to do some sort of engineering special in between now and then, but we'll have to see. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my channel for some other awesome LEGO videos, and have a great day.